All right, everyone get ready because today we're going to take a deep dive into magic.
Magic.
And no, not the kind with like wands and potions and stuff,
Right.
but it might feel a little bit magical once you start to understand it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this platform that lets you build AI visually
Uh-huh.
without writing a single line of code.
Yeah.
So you can create your own AI creations,
Right.
whether it's a helpful chatbot
Right.
or a game character that feels more real.
That's the idea. And you know what's interesting about Magic is that it takes this really complex thing like AI development and makes it surprisingly intuitive. It's all about building with these things called spells and nodes.
Okay, so like a spell is the overall blueprint of what you want the AI to do.
Uh-huh.
So if I wanted to build an AI that analyzes customer feedback
Yeah.
and generates reports, that whole process would be my spell.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
And within that spell, you'd have these individual nodes that take care of specific tasks.
Right.
It's like breaking down a big project into smaller steps.
Yeah.
Only these steps are visual building blocks that you can drag and drop.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could make it a lot less intimidating.
Yeah.
But what kind of nodes are we actually talking about here?
Sure. So let's say you want your AI to understand customer feedback.
Okay.
You could use this thing called a prompt template node to
Okay.
kind of guide the AI's interpretation of that feedback.
Right.
Then you might connect a code node to do some calculations or analysis.
Okay.
And don't worry if you don't code.
Yeah.
There are pre-built ones you can just plug in.
Okay, cool.
And then for the output, you could use what's called a generator node
Right.
to create summaries or charts,
Wow.
even presentations based on that analysis.
So it's not just like basic actions. You can really get into the details of
Yeah.
how the AI processes the information.
Right.
But what happens when you have a bunch of things happening at the same time? Like if my AI is analyzing feedback and generating a report and also sending me like
Yeah.
a notification all at once.
Well, that's where the wait for all node comes in.
Okay.
So it acts like this conductor to make sure the different parts of the spell
Right.
are finishing their tasks before going on to the next stage.
Okay.
This is really important for building complex AI that react to events in real time.
Yeah.
We call those event-driven agents.
So this is how you build something like a chatbot
Exactly.
that can have a natural back and forth responding to whatever the user types.
It's it.
That's a far cry from those like clunky chatbots that just give pre-programmed answers.
Totally.
Yeah.
With Magick, you can create AI that not only understands the input,
Right.
but also like adapts and reacts dynamically, so you get
Yeah.
these really interactive experiences.
Okay.
Imagine a game character that doesn't just follow a script, but learns from your actions
Right.
and makes decisions on its own.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We've talked about nodes.
Mhm.
We've talked about spells.
Yeah.
We've talked about these reactive agents.
Right.
But what makes Magic stand out from all the other AI tools out there?
Well, one key thing is that it's multimodal,
Okay.
meaning your AI creations can interact with a whole bunch of different platforms.
So not just websites and apps.
Right. Like imagine an AI posting updates on Twitter,
Oh, wow.
or controlling a character in Unreal Engine,
Okay.
or responding to messages on Discord.
So it's not just building AI in isolation.
Right.
It's about making it part of the digital world that we already use. That's really cool.
It opens up so many possibilities.
That makes me wonder about access to information.
Okay.
Can these AI agents like tap into all the knowledge online?
They sure can. Magick actually comes with preloaded tools to access information from
Okay.
Google, Wikipedia,
Wow.
even the semantic web.
That's like having a superpowered research assistant on call at all times.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I'm already starting to see how this could be a game changer.
It is.
Not just for tech companies, but all sorts of organizations.
Yeah, and that's really just the beginning.
Right. We've covered a good foundation here.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious to see like how this actually plays out in real life.
Yeah.
Where are people actually using Magic to make a difference?
Well, first up, let's explore how Magick is transforming the world of video games.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So before the break, we were about to jump into how Magick is really changing the landscape of video games.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about this because games have always been like on the cutting edge of AI.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see how Magic is pushing those boundaries even further.
Well, one of the really exciting things is how it's being used to create these dynamic and responsive game characters.
Okay.
So, imagine like NPCs
Uh-huh.
that don't just follow those pre-scripted paths.
Right.
They actually react to player choices and actions in a way that actually makes sense.
So instead of just feeling like predictable robots, they actually feel more like intelligent beings
Exactly.
living in the game world.
Yeah, with Magick, developers can give those characters unique personalities, their own motivations, even the ability to learn.
So a character might change its behavior
Yeah.
based on past interactions with the player.
Right.
That's awesome. That's a huge step forward from like the static NPCs that we're used to.
It really is.
It sounds like it's bringing like a whole new level of dynamism and immersion to games. What about the story itself, though?
Okay.
Can Magick have an impact on like how stories play out?
Absolutely. Imagine a game world where the storyline isn't fixed.
Okay.
It changes and evolves based on what the player does.
Okay.
Magick lets developers build these branching narratives that respond to a player's actions, leading to like multiple different outcomes and endings.
That's fascinating. It's like those choose-your-own-adventure books, but on a grander, more interactive scale.
Exactly.
You're not just stuck on like one path.
Right.
It really feels like you're shaping the story.
And it's not just about those big narrative choices either. Imagine quests that like generate dynamically.
Oh, wow.
Based on your current skills or your inventory or even where you are in the game world.
So it keeps things fresh.
Exactly, even after hours of playing.
So it really sounds like Magick is giving game developers this toolkit.
It is.
To create these truly emergent gameplay experiences where even they might be surprised by what happens.
That's the beauty of it. Now, I know we have a lot of listeners who aren't necessarily gamers.
Right.
So let's shift gears a little bit and look at how Magick is transforming customer service.
Oh, I can relate to that. I think we've all had those like painful experiences with those automated phone systems or chatbots that just don't get it.
Right.
So how can Magick make things better?
Imagine you reach out to customer support.
Okay.
But instead of getting a robotic voice, or those pre-programmed responses, you get to talk to an AI agent that actually understands what you need. Okay. Answers your questions in a way that sounds natural. Wow. And can even kind of anticipate what you're going to ask next.
Now, is that level of sophisticated interaction really possible with a no-code platform?
That's the amazing thing about Magick. It gives you the tools to build those AI agents that can analyze those customer inquiries, pull up relevant information, and even learn from past interactions.
To provide like personalized, efficient support.
Exactly.
So it's not just about having those static EKQ databases.
No.
It's about understanding the nuances of the customer's problem. And coming up with solutions.
And because Magick can work with different platform, you could deploy those AI agents across like your website chatbot, your voice assistant, even like a messaging app.
So no matter where the customer is,
they get a seamless support experience.
That would be a game changer for businesses.
It would.
But I'm also hearing some concerns about replacing human customer service agents with AI.
Well, it's important to remember that Magick is just a tool. It's how we use it that matters. The goal isn't necessarily to completely replace humans, but to make things better for everyone. So AI can handle those routine tasks, freeing up human agents to focus on those more complex issues.
That require empathy and critical thinking.
Yeah, it's about finding the sweet spot between AI and human interaction.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But let's not get too lost in the weeds here.
Okay.
Let's look at some other industries where Magick is having an impact.
Okay.
Our sources mention some really interesting applications in marketing and advertising.
Yeah. Magick is proving to be incredibly valuable for marketers who want to understand their audience better and create these really targeted campaigns. Imagine being able to analyze tons of consumer data, like browsing habits, social media activity, purchase history.
Yeah. And use that information to craft marketing experiences that really resonate with people. So instead of just like blasting generic ads to everyone, you can tailor the message to individual preferences and interests.
That's the power of it.
That sounds incredibly powerful, but also kind of creepy, if you know what I mean. It's like, how do you make sure that level of personalization doesn't cross the line and feel invasive to people?
That's a great point, and I think the key is transparency. Giving consumers control over their data and how it's being used.
So with Magick, marketers could build AI systems that not only analyze data, but let people set their preferences.
Exactly.
Opt out of certain types of targeting. and see how their information is being used to create that personalized experience.
That's right. It's about using data responsibly and ethically.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better.
Good.
But let's move beyond targeted advertising. What other marketing tricks can Magick pull off?
Well, one really promising area is content creation.
Okay.
Imagine being able to generate high-quality marketing copy, social media posts, even video scripts, all customized to certain audiences and marketing goals.
So instead of spending hours trying to come up with catchy slogans or agonizing over the perfect tweet, you could have an AI assistant help you generate content in a fraction of the time.
That's right. And it goes beyond just writing.
Okay.
Magick can even be used to create personalized visuals.
Oh, wow.
Like product images or even short video clips.
So it's like having a whole marketing team at your fingertips.
It really is.
But wouldn't that kind of automation put creative professionals out of work?
Well, I think it's about finding the right balance again.
Okay.
AI can be a powerful tool to help with human creativity, but it's not going to completely replace it.
Right.
The best marketing campaigns are going to be the ones that combine both. The efficiency and the data-driven insights of AI with that human touch.
So it's not about AI versus humans.
Right.
It's about how we can use AI to make ourselves better.
Exactly.
But we're just scratching the surface here.
We are.
There's one more area I want to touch on before we wrap up this part.
Okay.
The world of Web3 and cryptocurrencies.
Right.
These are technologies that are often really hard to understand.
Yeah.
Can Magick help make them more accessible to everyday people?
It absolutely can. Imagine using Magick to build AI tools that can explain blockchain and crypto in a way that anyone can understand.
Right.
These tools could guide users through the process of buying and selling crypto.
Okay.
And even offer personalized investment recommendations.
That would be huge for anyone who's felt intimidated by the crypto world.
It would.
It's like having a crypto advisor right there in your pocket.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual investors either.
Okay.
Magick could also be used to build tools for businesses that are operating in the Web3 space. Imagine AI systems that can analyze blockchain data, track market trends, and even manage those DAOs without needing a lot of technical expertise.
So Magick has the potential to make the crypto experience simpler for everyday users.
Yes.
But also empower businesses to leverage blockchain technology in all sorts of innovative ways.
Absolutely. It's about democratizing access to these technologies.
And making them more inclusive.
That's a great way to put it. But before we get too carried away with the future, let's take a step back and look at the philosophy behind this platform.
All right, let's dive into the heart of what makes Magick so special. So we've spent some time exploring what Magick can do and how it works.
Right.
But I'm curious about like the why behind it all. Like what are the driving principles of this platform?
Well, at its heart, Magick is built on the belief that AI should be accessible to everyone, not just a select few. And the fact that it's open source is a big part of that.
So it's not just a product, it's like a movement.
Yeah.
Like a community-driven effort to democratize AI.
Exactly. And that community is one of Magick's biggest strengths.
Okay.
It's this global network of developers and creators and AI enthusiasts.
Wow.
All working together to see what's possible with no-code AI.
So it's more than just like people sharing code snippets.
Right.
What does that involvement actually look like?
Well, there's this really active online forum.
Okay.
Where people can exchange ideas and troubleshoot problems. They can even show off their Magick creations.
So even if you're a total beginner, you can tap into that collective knowledge and get help from people who have more experience.
Exactly. It's a very welcoming and supportive community.
That's great because it makes it less scary to dive into something new.
And it's not just online either. Oh. There are also meetups and hackathons all over the world.
Oh, cool.
So Magick users can actually connect face-to-face, work on projects together, and learn from each other.
It's so inspiring to see that collaborative spirit.
Yeah.
It feels really different from that traditional tech world.
It does.
It can feel very secretive sometimes.
Yeah. So how does this open source approach actually benefit users?
Right. Good question.
Well, one big thing is that it means Magick is constantly evolving and improving.
Yeah.
Because anyone can find bugs.
Right.
Suggest new features.
Yeah.
Or even add their own code to make the platform better.
So it's like this living organism that adapts based on the input of its users.
Exactly.
That's way more dynamic than having a single company decide where the product goes.
And because the community is so diverse, you get all these different perspectives, and that helps make sure that Magick stays relevant and adaptable.
It's amazing to see how this open source model is not just shaping the tech, but also the culture around it.
Totally. It's a more inclusive and democratic approach to AI.
And that's something we need more of.
I agree. Magick is more than just a platform.
Right.
It's a belief that collaboration and open knowledge sharing are really important.
And that everyone should have a chance to help shape the future of AI.
That's it.
That's a great point. So we've really explored the nuts and bolts of Magick.
Yeah.
Its potential in all sorts of industries.
Right.
And the community that's driving it forward. It's been quite a journey.
It has.
We hope you've enjoyed exploring this exciting new world with us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
And until next time, keep learning.
Keep creating.
And keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.